Hello and welcome to Money Markets. Today we're going to be focusing on the UK economy and why this is important for not only investors but also voters as we look ahead to the general election next month. As George discussed yesterday, the UK is in focus for not only investors but also voters as we look ahead or look forward to the general election in July. George very much talked about the labour market data, unemployment creeping slightly higher, but wages remaining firm at 6%. We also had the latest reading on the UK economy, looking at GDP, which looks at how much the economy is expanding or contracting. And also we had manifestos from the Conservative Party yesterday, and tomorrow we'll get the Labour manifesto as well. So a lot to digest from an investor perspective, but also for a voter perspective. If we focus on the economic data this morning, we saw that the economy in April saw no growth whatsoever. This was actually slightly better than what economists had been forecasting. But it's still a very low reading. If we look at March, the economy grew 0.4%. Now the challenge has been the weather, which has been, we've seen much more rainfall than the long-term average, and that's weighing down on retail sales. When we look at the other components of the economy, manufacturing and construction, we also saw very weak readings here as well. The one bright spot remains services. Services expanded over the month, up 0.2%. So that was very much supportive. If you think about the composition of the UK economy, it's very much dominated by services. So it's encouraging that that's growing and helping economic growth, which has been challenged over the last 12 to 18 months. If we remember last year, towards the end of last year, the UK was in a technical recession. We've seen a slightly improvement in the first quarter of this year, but slightly sluggish in April. If we think about Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, who's been very much campaigning on evidence that the UK economy is on a better footing. That's certainly the case when we look at the inflation readings. Inflation's fallen to 2.3%. Just a couple of years ago, we're at over 10%. And also, if we look at wages are expanding, so they were up 6% in the latest reading this week. However, the economic growth environment remains more challenged and would challenge Rishi Sunak's feel-good factor that he's referred to, and he's been campaigning on this. Given where he is in the polls, he's 20 points below the Labour Party currently. So the economic activity this morning just suggests it's more problematic for not only Conservatives, but also even if the Labour Party gets in next month, and given where fiscal deficits are, it does really challenge how either party would really get the UK economy firing on all cylinders. We'll learn more on the manifestos tomorrow, and that will be digested by investors and voters in the coming days, and we'll keep you up to date as we receive those details. Thank you for watching, and that's everything from us today. We'll see you tomorrow.